Hello and welcome back to the campervan. It is mid-afternoon on a Friday afternoon, the most glorious spring day you ever did see. Warm, blue skies, daffodils everywhere, truly spring has sprung, and I have the opportunity for not one but 2 nights away in the campervan. So I'm going to seize that opportunity and do it going down to a nice campsite, lots of good reviews on it, looks lovely, based on a working farm but with a field where people can pitch up tents and campervans and all that kind of thing, and it's near Cheltenham. I think it's just, is it just north of Cheltenham? I'll put a link in the video description, so if you want to have a look at it yourself you can. And it's going to be the same sort of format as the last van video, in as much as I'm going to meet a friend and then go round a garden centre, so hopefully not too much duplication. There should be, I'm told, on this farm/campsite some animals, including Bacon the pig, that we can go and see. So we'll see if they are actually available for viewing. The journey down to Gloucestershire from Worcestershire is largely tedious N5 motorway, so I won't bother filming any of that until we get to the very last bit, where we come off and go wiggling around the country roads until we get to the campsite. So with that said, let us talk no more and get driving. It turns out I lied when I said I wouldn't film the motorway, but here it is, just to prove to you it really is very boring indeed. Let's skip ahead to the point where I arrived at the campsite. I don't know if you can read that through the windscreen, it's got various reflections on it, but we have a soggy field situation. The sign says, "Do not drive on field. Consult with Ruth." Ruth has gone off to check some things about the field. She's been giving me advice on where I can park and where I shouldn't park. She says they do have a tractor that could tug the van out if it got stuck, but they don't really want the field all churned up, which is fair enough. There's a couple of other campers over on the far side, which she reckons is the driest part. Not dry, but the driest part. Bearing in mind, not on the last video, but I think it was the one before that, I went into a field and got instantly stuck. I'm not keen on repeating the experience particularly, so I've turned the engine off and waiting for Ruth to come back with some advice on where I should go. Tell you what, apart from distant... is that airplane noise, traffic noise? I'm not quite sure, but apart from that, lots of lovely bird song. Seems like a nice spot. No, that is an aeroplane, isn't it? Yes. Well, first impressions are excellent. Ruth was very helpful and friendly and suggested that as they don't have all the electric pitches booked up for the next couple of days, I might as well pop myself on one which is right next to the entrance, so there's less fields to travel across. So that is perfect. And it is, you can see, very muddy indeed. Look at this. So nice. There's a bit of roar from, it must be the M5 itself, I think. We're not that far from the motorway. And I can hear planes taking off, which I guess must be Gloucester Airport. But it's rather nice. This building is the reception block and also the toilet and showers block. They've got quite a lot of toilets and showers, I think, and some of them are accessible and all that for wheelchairs and so on. Also, as you see there, a laundry area. Plus, proper L-sand disposal point and a drinking water tap. That's good. Somewhere for your grey waste. Along with recycling bins. This is all very organised. I like it. Did I mention this was a working farm? Look, animals. Here are the everyday facilities, the women's block with apparently 4 toilets, and the men's block, because we're quicker, with 3. This is the men's shower block. That's the showers, I presume. And down this way, toilets and urinals and things. It's all very clean and nice. But oh no, it's the dreaded push-button showers that only ever stay on for a few seconds usually. I will find out how good they are in the morning. And then right next to that is the combined reception and cafe. where they have a selection of breakfast rolls, which I will be partaking of tomorrow, along with the usual selection of coffees and so on. I've just been told these are Jacob's sheep, and despite the numbers of them, these are largely kept as family pets by the farm owners because they say there's absolutely no money in the wool anymore. They make a loss on the wool, and they're by and large pets, and they've all got names. Notice also, lying down in the middle of the picture there, that's 2 pet goats, who apparently have free rein to wander around as they see fit. Apparently they put in a drainage ditch here last year to try and help drain the field, and it has some effect, but it's clay soil, so the water just sits in the soil and doesn't really dissipate downwards. I'm feeling rather privileged. I've been granted an audience with the pig, and having been called, she's just emerged from her little house and is now expecting food. Nom, 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 nom. Is that nice?
She's got a ball. She's really partial to a stick. She likes to get sticks and walk around with them.
Well, meeting Bacon the pig was an absolute pleasure. Lovely pig, 9 years old, was the runt of the litter, can you believe it? And now very happy and healthy, and somewhat alarmingly, I suppose, or just felt a bit awkward. If you scratch behind her ear and then you sniff your finger, I said it smells of crisps, so it smells of pork scratchings, unsurprisingly, but it's just a very bacony sort of smell. Anyway, she was lovely. It is now, I think, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Possibly time for a cup of tea and just a sit down with a book. I'm still reading that Richard Osman. I think I put it down after the end of the last van trip and I haven't picked it up again, so time to crack on with that. I was just starting to set up for a cup of tea and it occurs to me I should probably do a fridge update, because you may recall it was misbehaving in the last video. And it is still misbehaving. The problem was that it wasn't getting to the temperature that it said it was. So it was saying, let's say 2 degrees Celsius, which is a good temperature for a fridge, but I measured it and it was about 9 or 10 degrees, so about 7 degrees-ish above what it thought it was at. And there are loads of videos on YouTube saying, it's the thermistor, which you just take out. Well, there's a bit of fiddling about. You have to dismantle the fridge, take the thermistor out, buy a replacement one and pop that in. So I thought, well, that's easy enough. And I was too cheap to buy the official Dometic part, so I went on eBay and got a new thermistor for £5.99 and plugged that one in, didn't fully install it, plugged it in and just ran the thermistor round and into the body of the fridge, and lo and behold, that didn't fix the problem. I thought, no, that's what you get for buying a cheap part off eBay. So then I took out a mortgage and bought the official Dometic part. It's substantially more expensive and looks like exactly the same thing. And I plugged that one in and again didn't bother fully installing, just ran it round into the compartment. But the advantage of that is it means that no part of the wire is going around any of the mechanism of the fridge. It's literally the thermistor, or whatever you call it, running straight into the control device. And no, it still does exactly the same thing. So 3 different thermistors, the original one and 2 replacements, and I checked the temperature readings with 3 other known things. I've got the little gun thing, you can point at things and it fires a laser and tells you what temperature it is. And then I took the thermostat out of the fridge. I've got a temperature reading thing in the fridge, and then an old analog one with, well, not mercury in it, but something that goes up a little glass dial to show you what the temperature is. All 3 of those read the same temperature and they all consistently said the fridge was about 7 degrees hotter than it thought it was, even after I replaced the thermistors. So I can only assume that some component on the control circuit board has failed. Perhaps a capacitor has blown or something. I don't really know enough about thermistors and how they would be read by a little circuit board, but that's the only conclusion I can come to. However, the coolant, I mean, it does cool. It does cool. It's just not at the temperature you think it is. So now I've set it on the display to -3, and it's actually in the fridge at about +2 or 3 degrees, which is fine. It's keeping everything cool. It's just misleading, but I'm going to live with it because I'm not spending any more blooming money on it. It is a lovely evening. Starting to get a bit chilly. No surprises that people in the distance have lit their campfires. I do not have a campfire. I have a diesel heater. It's very peaceful. Just very nice. I think I need to buy a small fire pit, but it will have to be small enough that it could easily fit in the van, probably underneath the bed here. I don't want some giant clanking thing. It'll have to be one of those collapsible ones. Any recommendations for a small collapsible fire pit would be welcomed. It is now 7 o'clock in the evening, getting a little chilly. The heater is doing its job and my stomach is rumbling. Time for some food. Now, I do not like cooking in the van. To be fair, I don't like cooking anywhere. So anything I can do that's just out of a tin and heat it up is ideal for me. Tonight I'm going out on a bit of a limb and trying this, which is Tesco's smoky butternut and bean casserole, which will either be nice or completely revolting. We shall find out soon enough. And if it's revolting, I've got a tin of Pringles. I think we can safely say it's just not my kind of thing. But now I've warmed it up, I'm going to eat it, come what may. No, it's really not for me. Oh well. Good morning, just woken up after a reasonable night's sleep. I've got the diesel heater on, and now it is time for me to try the showers here, go and get myself cleaned up, and then I have pre-ordered for my breakfast a sausage and egg bap from the cafe. The idea is you let them know the night before what you want and what sort of time. I told them roughly 9 o'clock would be good for me, so hopefully there will be a lovely hot sausage and egg bap waiting for me at 9. And this is the morning. Not quite the sunny day I was hoping for. Maybe this will burn off later. I tell you what though, it's lovely in here. I left the heater running while I went for a shower and it has warmed up beautifully. Ah, bliss. Time for a cup of tea and then I'll go and see about that bacon roll. Not bacon, what did I order? Sausage and egg. What a lovely smell of sausage. I have my prize. Let's just go back to the van and eat. Oh yes. Oh, this is eggy. This is eggy. Look at that. There is distinct egginess in there. Right, let's make the tea. Actually, it's getting too warm in here now, blimey. I feel like a food reviewer on Instagram. But that is genuinely lovely. And there's ketchup on it, which I forgot to ask for but wanted. So that's very good. A good breakfast. With my cup of tea sorted and my stomach gently digesting, I'm at last going to get around to a bit of reading. I have finished my book and look at this. The weather has cleared up fantastically. The sun is out, the birds are tweeting. It's a glorious day. With the sun out, I thought I'd check my solar panels just to see if there's any little bits of dirt or grime on them, make sure they're performing at their optimum, and they are disgusting. Will you look at the state of these? I'm going to give them a jolly good clean. That cleaning has more than doubled the output of the panels. I was getting 2.3 amps into the batteries before the cleaning. I'm now getting 5.5, so that was well worth doing. I cannot quite express to you the simple, happy pleasure of sitting here reasonably comfortably in the van with that side door open, the sun's up that direction, streaming in. Got this lovely grassy field, and apart from a little noise from the motorway in the background, it is mostly the sound of birdsong. So just lying back, sunshine, birdsong, peace and quiet, a bit of a zen moment. I've been playing a little puzzle game on the iPad, just enjoying a morning of doing nothing really very much other than having that moment of quiet. The world is too noisy at the moment, and a moment of quiet is absolute bliss. It's nearly lunchtime though, and that means the inevitable cheese roll, cup of tea, and the last few jelly babies in the packet for dessert. That is a prime lunch, I tell you. After a very pleasant afternoon of nattering away, we're going to the pub for supper. There is another glorious sunset on the way. Good night. Well, good morning. It is another beautiful morning. The sun beating down, blue skies. It was chilly in the van when I woke up this morning, and in fact, chilly all last night and evening, because when I went to turn the heater on yesterday evening, just as it was getting chilly, it stopped working. It was going bong, 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 and although you can usually hear the pump making a noise, this was much louder than usual, so I had to go and investigate. And it turned out that not only was my diesel tank pretty much empty, and seems to have some diesel bug in there as well, but when I picked it up to have a look at it, the fuel filter just snapped clean off. There's a little bit of pipe normally on the top there. It's currently still wedged in the pipe, and it's just snapped clean apart. So this has become brittle over age or something. Anyway, that would explain why the heater wouldn't work. So yes, a chilly evening. So another thing added to the DIY to-do list. Today's planned trip to the garden centre has, for reasons I won't bore you with, gone away. So in fact, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Cheerio.